Okay, so just on cage now. I'll weld these foot plates in on the front and weld the front legs down. That's the next job. Then a dash bar across under there. The door bars. There's one for this side already just laying on the ground there waiting to go in. We've got this the plate that's underneath the front leg here. We actually had to cut, there's normally a strengthening plate or a continuation of that big plate through here. We had to cut it off when we bolted the cage in a couple of years ago. So we made up a template for that. And I'll re-weld that back in. I'll drill through here so I can spot weld, plug weld through to that. That's the backing plate for the front leg. And then once that's in, this side will get folded down over it and welded through, just like it is down the rest of the side here. It's what it's originally spot welded on. So the replacement plate's there, ready to weld in now. I've got some holes in it so I can plug weld through to the base plate of the main hoop, the front legs of the roll cage. Then I'll fold that back over into it and weld it onto it as well. And that will be all for under here then. Now that the floor plates are welded in, see it a bit light. Just put some gussets in the corner there. I've already done the same on the other side. And a strip to go in here as well. So at the end of the day today, we've got the gussets welded in on either side. The little gussets in the back there between those, between the rear diagonal and the rear cross member. There's one on this side and one on that side over there. All the front feet are now welded in, same as the rear ones, with their little gusset down the side. It's a bit hard to see there, it's a bit dark. There we go, gusset down the side. Put the bar across the front there. I would have really liked to get it under the dash and a bit behind it, but really it goes straight across there, and if you go putting any bends in it, it just weakens it, so it'll have to sit there. No, it's not too bad. I took the rest of the dash out too, so when I come to tidy it up and paint it, it's all out of the way. And the last thing today, the top intrusion bar's just tacked in there, but the bottom one's welded in. And I'll put a gusset piece in there to join the two up. I just had to be careful that I could still get in through here to get at the bolts for the seat. So I'll end up putting a plating either side of that. The reason that the door bar goes down like that is we've still got it has to clear the seat for a start, but in improved production we've got to retain the original door handle on it too, so it's got to miss that. Yeah, that's enough for today. Back into it again tomorrow. Okay, so that's all the bars in and welded out now. So it's pretty much the roll cage finished. The job's not finished yet because I've got to tidy everything up and paint it all, which I'm really looking forward to. So it's all come out fairly well, I think. So all the steel work for the cage is done now. But it's not quite finished yet. I've still got a raft of things that actually have to go onto the cage. I've got to weld some little tabs and that on. I've got the rear vision mirror that's got to hang down from the tab. I've got a oxygen sensor readout meter that goes just on the driver's side front leg. They're the brackets there for the window net, which have got to go onto the top of the roll cage. I also run a camera in the car, so you don't really need to make up any mounts for that because that one clamps onto the roll cage. I'll see about that. I might come up with a couple of permanent mounts around the place for it as well. Make it easier to swap between locations. And what else is there? Oh, that's right. Also run an intercom in the car. It's just a rally style one. If we ever have track days when there's a passenger, it helps to be able to talk to them through that. And also I run the audio out of that into the video camera, so it can provide a bit of commentary as I'm driving along, as you've seen on a lot of the videos so far. So a few little tabs and brackets of that to make up and weld together before I can start cleaning up and painting the cage. Okay, so I got all the little brackets made now. That's the one for the mirror. I've got the other one sitting in the car already. That one there's going to go on the top of the intercom. That one there's for the back of the oxygen sensor readout. And those ones there. And that one is to hold the end of the intercom, so I can plug the helmet. Where's the helmet one? It's hiding on the other side. The socket, the plug for the helmet. And inside the car, using one of these. It's just a pipe. It's a magnetic pipe clamp for putting tags. Like that. Just move it into position. You usually have to move it around a bit so that only one magnet's just holding it, otherwise the magnet plays hell with your welding. I'll give it a tack up here on the outside and one up here after I've taken that out of the way. Very handy little clamp, that one. Okay, so that's all the little brackets welded on there now. I've got the rear vision mirror one up there, the window net, the rear clip, and the front clip up there, and also the tag that holds the oxygen sensor readout. So hopefully it's now ready for clean up and painting and put the whole lot back together. Oh yeah, and the brackets there for the intercom. I'll just clamp the camera back to that one of those rear diagonals. Pretty much the same spot it's always been. Well, today's job is clean up to get it ready for painting. Got all the crap still around the windscreen that needs to be scraped off. I've already started on this side, so it's going to end up like that. I was a little bit lazy last time when I actually painted the car. I didn't take the rubbers or anything out of it, so there's a bit of a line there. What I'll do is I'll smooth that all off, and when I paint the cage, I think I'll do it green because the inside of the doors really needs doing as well. And there's still the original paint in there and it's looking a bit average. So do as much of it as I can green, and I'll fix up these edges. The dash will be black. I think up the A-pillars is black as well, and on the floor. Anyway, got to get to it. That's the front screen. All cleaned up around the edge. It's not too bad, at least it looks like I'm not fighting against any rust, so just be a case of etching it and top coat. Don't worry too much about an intermediate coat. The top coat stuff seems to stick pretty well to the etch. And for the final step in the job, for the painting, it's all taped up now. Hopefully it's just the bits that I want to paint that are still visible. I've got to go over it in a couple of stages because I want to do the floor black. I'll do the cage in the green, the same colour as the car, because I've got to do the insides of the doors, which have never been done before. Which look a bit average. So there hasn't been much video recently because it's been pretty boring stuff, just masking up, taping up the car and painting it all. So it's up to the stage of taking all the masking off it now. A bit like unwrapping a Christmas present, although I'm pretty sure I know what the what's inside it already. Absolute pain in the arse job, but had to be done. Once it's all unwrapped, I'll tidy up the edges of the new paint and then start putting it all back together. Looks a little bit better without all the gift wrapping on it. And you see all the overspray there. It's only acrylic paint, so just sand it back with some fine sandpaper, wet sand it back and then polish it up. It'll all come good. So it's come up pretty good. Good enough for a race car anyway. Threw a quick coat of green on the inside of the doors as well. Another thing that was overlooked last year. Once again, it's not too flash, but better than what it was. So now it's time to start putting it back together. Got to drill some new holes in the floor there for where the battery was clamped down before, seeing as I've got the new floor piece in it. And just start bolting things back in. Mirrors, window net, get the intercom. I've got to fix the intercom actually. You might have heard in a few of the recent videos that the audio's been a bit shite. There's a dodgy solder in there somewhere. I'll pull that out and fix it and get everything back together. First bit to go back in is the battery. It's got this little tiny sealed, it's one of those gel cell type batteries, and it sits on the floor in the passenger seat. Luckily I still have one of my old holes in the old floor there to start. Little angle goes there, little insulating pad there, another angle at the back. The battery sits on there like that. I just use these little nut certs to hold those angles down. Then I've got some clamps that come up from underneath the car and a clip over the top, holds it all in place. The clamp on top does the main job. Those little angle pieces just stop it from side and forwards and backwards, gives it a location for it. That there's the nut cert tool. Some people call them rivet nuts or riv nuts. They're just a handy way of putting in a nut into a thin sheet metal, a bit like a rivet. Just put the nut cert on there, put it in the pre-drilled hole, and squeeze it down Usually takes a couple of bites at it. I'm just going to wind it in a little bit further. There we go, it's done. Just giving all around the windows a very quick and nasty polish up. So all the windows are ready to go back in now. I can start on the side ones here and do them myself, they're fairly easy. I'll wait till I've got a hand to do the front and the rear ones. It's I've done it before myself, it's a little bit easier if you've got someone to keep a bit of pressure on the screen from the outside. Okay, it's starting to put the windows back in it now. This is one of the rear quarter windows. You can see it's got a lip here that actually fits around sits around that seam there. So pretty much all you have to do is place the window on into the car and then fold that lip around it. And the easiest way to do that is to wrap a piece of string around in that groove. And then once you just get inside the car and pull that string inwards, and all the windows on the car are the same as that. So it's a new rubber on there, so it's a little bit more flexible than the old one, so hopefully it'll be fairly easy to reinstall. I got the string around the interior groove. Brand new rubber, so it's not sitting all that well at the moment. So really it just sits in there like that. Start pulling the string, and it just brings the lip over. Hopefully, it's working. Brings the lip over the pinch weld. It just helps to have to get pressure on the outside. That's why it's a lot easier doing the front and rear screens with someone else. Yeah, help. It's coming around. No, it's coming around okay. All in, the string's out of it. Just have to do the same for the rest of them now. It's starting to look a bit more complete now. Got the windscreen back in it and side windows. Just got the rear screen to go. It's a new laminated screen in it. I've actually had it for a couple of years, it's been sitting around. So I thought, no, I'll finally get around to actually putting it in there. The new rubbers all around. Pain in the arse job to get them in there, but it's done now, so move on to keep putting the rest of it back together. I've got the door trims and the rear panels back in there as well. Had to shorten up the seat belts because they used to go onto the rear parcel shelf around about there. Got the video camera in there. That's only the camera part, the other part I sit on the floor, the recorder. And put the padding in over there where your helmet can touch the cage. It's got to have that special padding on it now. And just a little bit of closed cell, that high density sort of foam over there. So we'll see how it goes in competition next weekend at Noosa. See if it makes it any noticeably stiffer in the chassis. I remember when I did it a few years ago, put a cage in the Mark II rally car, it made an immediate difference. You could notice it in the handling. The whole car just felt tighter. Anyway, got to put it on the trailer now. See ya.